everyone, it's your vegan friend Tonia. How you doing? So I am really excited to present the following video to you because I think it's really important. It's actually probably one of my most important videos that I've ever done. The reason is I get to do an interview with a wonderful activist named Barb Noon, and she's an activist from Illinois, and she's going to be telling us all about the Agriculture Fairness Alliance. It's a group of people, it's a grassroots organization, and it's really, really important. And I have to be honest with you, like in the beginning, when I heard about what these people were doing, and why, it kind of was really frustrating. So you'll hear about that in the video, where at first it was downright depressing. It was really, really upsetting. And you know, we go through enough of that anyway when we go vegan. We sort of like see the world differently, and you see the world truthfully. And so that's already kind of hard to swallow. And then when you find out that there are certain things going on within our government, it makes it really hard. So the one thing that I wanted to send you in this message here before you start watching is that what we're going to be talking about is really interesting, and it's actually really motivational to me. And I feel really empowered right now. And I hope you do too. I hope you continue to watch this video and learn about this as I did, because now I feel empowered and I feel like there's something that we can actually do about this. So that's not how I was expecting to feel, to be honest with you. So Barb is going to share a lot of great information with us, and I hope you keep watching, and thank you so much for watching. Please consider sharing, and thank you. So enjoy. Hi, Barb.
Hi, Tonia. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. I am actually just really, really excited and honored that you would take the time to talk to us. Thank you so much. I know that you are working. I'm just so excited to hear what you have to say. So I know that you are working with Connie from Vegan Batgirl, and also the Agriculture Fairness Alliance. And I know there's so much to talk about. I'm just really excited that, I believe any kind of activism is important activism. We need it all, and I'm just excited to learn about what you have to say. And the Animal Agriculture Alliance, can you just tell us all about it?
Right, that's right. This organization, I think, is just going to grow. It's going to expand. It's grassroots, but it does take things to the next level, and we can make changes much quicker the way that it's set up. So I got excited to be in it, and I'll kind of get you started on how I got to know the co-founder Connie Spence. She is known as Vegan Batgirl. And I used to do a newsletter, and in fact, well, actually, I still do the newsletter, but when I was doing it, it was a local one for about 130 people, and I did an article on Vegan Batgirl, and I was instantly fascinated. I mean, that bat light is just crazy, and I was like, oh gosh, this girl is really interesting. So I started to look for what she was in, and she had gotten this organization going called Vegan Justice League. And so I thought about joining that, but then I saw something about there was this other organization too, and it was Agriculture Fairness Alliance, and so I thought, okay, well, I just tried to figure out where to join, and I joined, and I really feel good about it. I feel like it was one of the best decisions I could make as a vegan. So that's really how I got started. But I will tell you that Connie Spence, Vegan Batgirl, is on Instagram, and I think it's one of the best places to get information from because she puts things there first, it seems. It seems like that's where she puts things, and she has her story. So I'm telling everybody, go to vegan_Batgirl and follow her, because it's great information. You won't find it anywhere else.
Yeah, I did see some of her stuff on Instagram before. That's what led me to here, and it's so cool. Her vegan bat light shining is so cool. I saw some videos, and what I love about her is so what she does, I guess we should tell people what she does. So I love that she is shining a light basically on an abandoned building, usually after they're closed, and usually at a place that's very easy to spot, like from the highway and stuff like that. But what I love about it is that she is prepared. She's got her facts. She's like ready to go. Like when she is standing there, like if security does approach her or something like that, she has her information. She's got a piece of paper ready to like whip out and give to the, give to them. Like she knows her stuff. And I think that's just really important. It's great activism. I know that because like light therapy or like light is not vandalism, they say.
Yeah, I was going to say she has a video on it's her website. It would be www.veganbatgirl.com, and she has this video where you can see the security guards and the policemen aren't sure what to do. They're like checking, and it's just fun to watch her. She just kind of has control of the whole situation. So yeah, it's really cool.
Like she acts like hey, I got a job to do. Like whips out her stuff and like,
that's right.
You go, like
that's right. Yeah,
it's funny. Yeah, she's awesome. So there are like the two different organizations. There's two groups, right? Can you kind of explain?
Right. Well, Vegan Justice League is more the educational site and where research is put and that kind of thing. So to learn about it, it's really good to go to Vegan Justice League, and it, of course, it really focuses on vegans and what we can do, and so that's good. Agriculture Fairness Alliance is more where we're going to do our lobbying and our legislation, and it's centered more like that. And that's really where it's the best place to sign up there. And it just has to do with some rules and things. So I just kind of steer people. If you want to become a member, you go to Agriculture Fairness Alliance. So we know that vegans don't eat any meat or dairy, and a lot of Americans have been cutting down on meat and dairy. So it only made sense that there shouldn't be as many sales of meat and dairy. And yet the sales were the same as if we were still eating meat and dairy. And so Connie knew something was up. She said, there's got to be a reason for this. And she found out that the big farmers were overproducing, and then they were claiming losses because we're not eating it, so they couldn't sell their product. So the government buys all their product, and they pay the farmers. So it's called a bailout. That's the bailout right there. And so they're getting the bailout, and the government takes the meat and dairy and they put them in storehouses, and we can talk about that in a minute. And so you see that the big farmers are getting the bailouts, the subsidies. They do insurance schemes and things. They double dip in insurance. And so they're not paying attention to supply and demand. And here America's supposed to be kind of founded on like supply and demand, and if they supply something one year and then we don't eat it, then they should not do the same amount the next year.
Right.
So they found that this is a way that they can make money, and they're getting it from the government. But really, if they're getting it from the government, it's really coming from our taxes. So we are paying for all those extra animals to be killed. We're also paying for those storage places.
So I want to see if I understand. So like how bailouts were supposed to work. Yeah. So they were created a long time ago to help farmers, which is what we want. We want farmers to do well. But like it all started, I believe, in the government where they came up with like sort of an approximate amount of money that the farmers thought, or a product that the farmers were going to produce. And then if the farmers happened to have like a bad year or something, right, they would get subsidized by the government, a bailout of sorts, so that they made sure that the farmers wouldn't lose money. But then that sort of thing became abused and been treated like differently. So now these bailouts are in effect because farmers are claiming that they're still anticipating making as much money as they think they're going to be making, even though supply and demand has been brought down so much because people are eating less and less of these things. Okay, so like that's essentially what these bailouts are for. They need to sort of adjust for how many people are not purchasing these products anymore, if I understand correctly. So like I think the important thing to know then for people who are watching this is like what are we doing then like with the extra meat and dairy? What are we doing with the extra meat and dairy?
Okay, well, the extra meat and dairy is simply going to storehouses and if they're all around the country because they don't want them all in one spot. For one thing, now Connie had a meme and she showed the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and it was like this little Capitol building, and then she showed what the cheese that was stored in a year, and it was like, it's not, I can't even make it show in my little box there, but yeah, it was just gigantic. It was 1.4 billion pounds of cheese and 2.5 billion pounds of meat. So if you think about it, it's like we're paying for these animals to be bred, to have torturous lives, to then be killed painfully and in fear, and then their body parts go to these storehouses to sit there, and they use very little of it, because they don't even know what to do with it. There's like a problem. It's just stockpiling, and so it rots there, and they finally have to just throw it away. But they are going to fill it again this year because it was a $28 million bailout last year, and it's going to be bigger this year.
Hey everyone, it's Tonia. So Barb just made an accidental error there. She said $28 billion and then accidentally changed it to million, but in fact she did mean $28 billion. So what she's talking about there is $28 billion in 1 year of taxpayer money that is going toward this bailout of animal products that probably aren't even going to get used. They're probably going to get destroyed, and they're going to do it again next year unless things change. So please keep listening, and we'll tell you some ideas of like how you can join this movement to try to change this. Thanks.
And they're building another warehouse, and our taxes are paying for all of it. Our taxes are paying for their building of the warehouse even. It's crazy. It can be depressing. A lot of vegans kind of shy away from this because it just is like too much. It's like, no, no. But Connie stresses, and I think this is very important for people to understand. Keep being vegan. Keep doing your activism. Every single thing helps. We just realize we've got to also get up there in government because we've got to have a voice. And because one of the reasons that the farmers at the top are getting all this stuff, they have lobbyists that are in the senators' ears and the representatives' ears every day. And so we want to get several lobbyists. We'd like to have 4 or 5 lobbyists that work for us all the time. So that's our goal. And it's going to depend on everybody. It's going to depend on everybody joining these organizations, the Agriculture Fairness Alliance, just joining. The money, unfortunately, it's always money. It comes down to money. Money is important. But we're very reasonable in what we ask of people.
Oh my gosh. It's really appalling when you find that out. I mean, that is insane. Like what you just told me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, like all activism is important. Like we should do it all. We should do all of the activism. But like I think I'm really excited to learn more too about like how we can be an active part of this, and like what else we can do for this cause and for like to help this out because I don't really know. So I'm actually really excited to know what else you have to say.
Right. Well, yes, anybody can. And I want to just kind of point out that I am not like anybody famous. I'm just like anybody, a lot of people that might be watching, I'm just a person. I don't have the greatest skills in anything. And yet I feel very fulfilled by joining the organization. It is for anybody. You can eat meat if you can come at it from an environmental perspective because if we if we do all kinds of things to help the animals, we're helping the earth too, and it is a real concern. I actually realize I haven't even talked about the legislation yet that we've got coming up. So that's another thing for us to talk about. But yes, anybody can join. I will tell you what the price is. It's $1 a month. That's to be a member. Now, if $1 a month, if you feel like that would be too hard on you, and there's a lot of people where it would be too hard to do, you would feel it, then don't be a member. You can still share memes. You can still tell people about it. Maybe you know a farmer who might want to transition from animal agriculture to healthy new way of growing things, a beautiful way of growing things that won't harm the environment. So there are a lot of things that you can do. But if you can afford $1 a month, and it actually, I always like things to be upfront. It's $1.35 a month, and it can come directly, because there's a processing fee. It can come directly out of your bank account, and you don't feel it. I mean, I don't feel it. I'm good with that. If you're a person where $10 a month, you don't feel it, maybe you could donate $10 a month. But the minimum is $1 a month to be a member. You could also do, if you didn't want to be a member but you want to help, you could do a one-time donation. They allow that too. So there's so much you could do. But yes, you can join Agriculture Fairness Alliance, and you can help us. And everybody has some skills where they could help out, I'm sure. If somebody's artistic, and we need help in all kinds of ways.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I understand, if I could. Okay, so we mentioned like farmers helping, like getting help switching over from animal agriculture to a food crop of fruit, vegetables, nuts, whatever. So like, how does that relate to the lobbying, or is that what they do?
That's absolutely what we're doing. That is what our legislation is on. We've been talking a whole lot about subsidies, and we've been talking about bailouts, but that's so that you get the background, so your listeners get the background, and your watchers, I guess I would say, understand why we want to help the small farmer and why people are doing this. In the past, probably 2 years, this has started up where people are transitioning, and I'll give you a couple of examples too. Miyoko's Creamery. Well, they started transitioning some farmers off of animal agriculture to grow a particular type of potato that they will use in their vegan cheese. And there are farmers that will transition off of any kind of animal agriculture and start growing mushrooms for vegan meats. There are organizations.
I was going to say, I saw these people on Facebook, this couple, and they had chicken barns that they were raising chickens in, and they actually switched them over to a type of mushroom.
Right, and there is a chicken farmer who also changed to hemp farming. There's an organization called Transformation, and I just had to mention that because I think it's the most clever name, Transformation, where they're transforming and transitioning these farmers. So there's a lot of organizations that are starting to do that. The only problem, I'm just going to name them all: Ranchers Advocacy Program, and also Mercy for Animals, and I'm sure there are some others. But the problem is they can only transition so many because they're doing it out of their own business money, or maybe out of their own pockets. I don't know how those things work. I'm not a business person, but they're using money, and they're using donations. And so that's one of the reasons that we're going bigger than that. We are going to have the government pay for it. So our legislation that we are shopping around in Washington, D.C., we have a lobbyist that we've paid for. We don't have him full-time or anything yet, but he's done some work for us. The legislation is to transition small and mid-sized farmers to any kind of healthy vegan type farming, and it can be all these things that we've mentioned. It could be organic fruits and vegetables, it could be hazelnut trees, they could even do solar and wind farms if they want, anything like that. That's going to be an improvement. So we are improving, you see, the environment, as well as changing people's hearts. And killing fewer animals, and that's the biggie too, you know. But so that is what we're going to do. And I mean, we have written the legislation. We have the lobbyists there in Washington, D.C. talking to senators. I'm going to be talking to my Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, and also to the House Representative Rodney Davis, and see how that goes. You know, I'll be talking to them. So that's one of the things that we are doing. We are just getting into all that right now. And yeah, and we go and I'll talk to groups and things and try to get more people to know things and know that we're going to be doing this. But we really would like to get it passed. And the type of legislation that it starts out as a pilot program. So we would transition a certain amount of farmers depending on how much it would cost, and you have to do a good job of it. You can't just go, here's some money, you know, that the government's giving you this much money, you have 1 year or something like that. You have to have soil testers. You have to maybe build buildings that they need, changing them over, educate them, equipment, you know, totally different equipment. So there's a whole lot involved, and this is why farmers can never do it on their own when they're small farmers. So we're going to give them that opportunity. We're going to see that they start to succeed, and that is our plan. And then once it's successful, the government, I think, will keep doing it, because as you can see from these other companies, this is a new thing. And people are starting to realize we have to start doing these things. It goes right along with climate change. It's like, this is the time for us to be doing this. And that's why we really want people to join in and help us in this effort.
Okay. This is a lot to take in, for sure. I'm so glad that we're doing this, though, because I think people need to hear, you know, about this. It's really important. I have to admit, too, when I first heard about the Agriculture Fairness Alliance and also Vegan Batgirl's work, and kind of got a taste of like what she was doing, I have to be honest with you, I was depressed about it, and I was really sad, and I didn't really want to know more, because it was just like a lot to take in, and I felt very powerless. Like, I felt like it was just so sad to think that even though, again, supply and demand, you know, it should have brought the number, you know, knowing full well that veganism is growing like crazy, and all these products are coming out that are replacement products for the animal products that we've all known about for so long, and these new products are taking over the shelves, you know, and knowing that, and then also knowing that the numbers of animals that are killed each year isn't going down at all. Like, that was just so upsetting. So I felt very upset about it, and also powerless about it. And I have to tell you, I'm really excited about it now. I feel very empowered, because I feel like there's something tangible that we can all do. There's actual work that we can do to help put an end to that, and to help have the numbers of animals have it going down. And just it's really exciting. I feel really fired up and powerful, and I honestly wasn't expecting. I didn't know any of the information. I guess that's what I'm just learning all this right now. So it's exciting. So I guess like one of the takeaways that I would like to tell or ask people is to look up the sites, and again, join the sites that we're talking about here. Join the Agriculture Fairness Alliance and help make a difference. And also, because it is a grassroots group, it is going to be growing leaps and bounds in the next few years. And just it's just so helpful. So I mean, like, I just feel like we have to support this. Like, we all have to support this. We have to jump in and become members, and we have to help, and we have to spread the word and the education about what this is doing and how we can get the numbers of animals to go down and all of that stuff. So thank you so much. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I was going to say, let's just repeat what the websites are. You could go to www.agriculturefairnessalliance.org, and that's where you can sign up. And the other thing, again, just because it's inspiring, I think, is I would say go to Instagram, and you can follow Vegan Batgirl, vegan_Batgirl. And also, why don't you follow Vegan Justice League while you're at it, and Agriculture Fairness Alliance. All of those are on there. And so you can really get into it. And it feels a lot better once you're into it and you understand. At first, it is overwhelming, I will admit. I went in knowing nothing basically, and I've only been in it a couple of months. I've learned a lot, but yeah, you can just feel so much better once you have an understanding and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then you start helping too. You feel great. But even if you're a shy introvert, I mean, you can do things on the internet, just typing. You can help, like I said, sharing memes. So yes, you can even help if you're shy, if you're an introvert. You can just donate the money and know that you are helping a cause that is going to make a huge difference. We're not, the one thing about vegans is we are determined. We may sometimes be like, oh, this is just too much. Oh, I can't take this. I'm so depressed. I'm having nightmares about what I've seen. But we don't give up. We don't give up. And you get your second wind, you come back, and we fight. That's our lives. I don't know about you, but I never was a fighter before, and now it's made me so much stronger, and that's a great thing. It really is. And we always have to keep the animals in mind. That's we have to win. We have to. There is one thing that I don't think I mentioned, and I feel kind of embarrassed about bringing it up right now. I may have said this. I think I've used the word co-founder. Did I introduce that Laura Reese is also one of the co-founders? The reason we don't talk about her quite as much is she is more, I would say she's an intellect and comes from the environmental side, and she works with us a whole lot. I mean, I have talked to her a whole lot, but she's probably one of them who helped write that legislation, I would assume. She's doing things like that. She may not be, I don't even know if I friended her on Instagram. I was just thinking, I just know both women as brains, but they're brains in different ways. And that's another reason we're going to succeed, is we have these intelligent women who are leading, and again, determined. So we will definitely succeed. And I'm glad that you're going to join, and I hope that your viewers join.
Yeah, I'm just blown away. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much, Barb. Again, this is Barb Noon, you guys. Agriculture Fairness Alliance. Please go visit the website, and thank you guys so much for watching.